Well, this here is the all-new Honda Accord Hybrid, and this car is a technological tour de force. And what do I mean by that? Well, it comes with a lot of bells and whistles, but to impress your guests at home, all you need to do is take out your key fob and press this button over here, and the car will start automatically from the outside. It really is a very cool car. Let me explain you further. Well, a lot of people will buy this car not for the features or the fuel economy, but simply for the excellent rear seat comfort. Now, these seats are as comfortable as a big sofa that you have at home, and as you can see, knee room is massive and headroom is more than adequate. And I have adjusted the front seat as always for my height, and my height for reference is 5'10". I even have place below them where I can keep my feet. So really, this car will cocoon you from the world outside, and this is the kind of seat that you want to go back home after that long board meeting. And of course, you are a CEO or an MD of a company and you've had a big and long day with that board meeting, then this is the back seat that you want to go back home in. Well, what also adds to the sense of comfort is the fact that these doors open really nice and wide over here at the back, which means that getting in and out of this car is a really breezy affair. So the Accord offers you one of the best seats when it comes to rear seat comfort in the luxury segment, and also offers you the best seats when it comes to space across any segment in India. Well, so if you're someone who doesn't really enjoy sitting in the back seat and wants to be here where all the action is, then even the front seats are hugely comfortable on this car. Just like the back seat, the under thigh support is supremely brilliant, and you also get these big bolsters on the sides to hold you if you are, of course, pushing this car into corners. So in that sense, just like the back seat, the Accord's front seats are supreme on comfort. Well, when I say that this car is a truly technological tour de force, what I mean is that this car is loaded with all the bells and whistles. It is really loaded with a lot of gizmos. For instance, you get 6 airbags, you get traction control, you also get ABS as well as EBD, you also get hill climb assist, you also get an HDMI cable, and you also get an 8-way adjustable driver seat, which of course is electrically adjustable. And really, this isn't even 10% of the total amount of features that this car has. So if you want to know all the features on this car, then head to our website by clicking on this link over here and finding them out for yourself. And do at least keep 30 odd minutes to know all the features, because this car really is loaded with all the bells and whistles. Well, most luxury car buyers want a car which offers you a big boot, and the Accord Hybrid does not disappoint. Yes, the battery pack does eat up into the boot space, but that's quite okay because the aperture is really wide, which means that you can put in those big boxes without too much of an effort. And it's also a very wide boot, which means that you can just chuck in that golf bag without really having too much of an issue. Also, it isn't very high up from the ground, which means if you have a big box to load in, it should not strain your back. And even though there's a bit of a sill, it's not really too much and it's quite manageable. So overall, a decent boot considering the big battery pack takes up a lot of space. Well, so here I'm driving the new Honda Accord Hybrid, and this car comes with a 2-liter i-VTEC petrol engine, and that petrol engine is augmented by an electric motor, and together both these motors make 215 bhp on this Accord Hybrid. The Accord Hybrid uses sophisticated as well as a much more complex hybrid system than its main rival, the Toyota Camry. Under most conditions, the car operates in a very similar manner to a range extender. In the hybrid drive mode, the petrol engine works as a generator, supplying power as well as energy to the batteries of the electric motor. When you are driving in the electric drive mode, only the front wheels are being powered. The petrol motor has no connections with them, and because it is being driven directly by the electric motor, it does not really require a conventional gearbox with the electric motor in power. In the pure EV mode, with the engine shut off, this car can only go up to about 2 kilometers on battery power alone, and after that, you will need the petrol engine to kick in to generate the batteries once again. What makes the Accord Hybrid really unique though is the engine drive mode, where the engine is used to power this car over speeds of about 80 odd kilometers. And only one fixed gear ratio is used while you are doing this speed. You can also drive this car in the B mode of the gearbox, which enhances brake regeneration. And even though it feels like you are driving a CVT, there is no CVT gearbox on this car. And of course, when you start the Accord Hybrid, there is that eerie silence, because remember, there's only an electric motor which starts off. There's no petrol which starts off most of the times when the battery is charged. Now the engine up ahead also works as a generator to charge the batteries at the back, and that's a good thing because it helps to extend the range of this car and also helps fuel economy. And Honda claims an efficiency figure in excess of 23 kpl, which makes it one of the most fuel efficient petrol cars in India on sale at the moment across segments, and also makes it the most efficient car on sale at this price point. Well, it's very difficult to tell when the Honda Accord Hybrid switches power from the petrol and goes onto the electric motor, and also when it goes from electric to hybrid, or whatever mode you choose, because the motors work in unison. They work smoothly and very efficiently, and everything is really done without you even knowing it. There are no jolts, there's no noise. The petrol engine, remember, the i-VTEC motors from Honda are huge in terms of refinement, so in that sense they also are as silent as the electric motor. And in fact, when you are cruising, you'll feel that the petrol motor isn't even working. It's the electric motor which is actually doing all the duties. Of course, you have to look at the dashboard to figure out which motor is powering the car. Yes, I am not exaggerating. The petrol motor on this car is so refined. It's only when you are accelerating really hard that you can hear the buzz of that aluminium i-VTEC motor really making a bit of a noise. Well, when you are of course doing slow city speeds, the best part is that the torque on the electric motor is available instantly, unlike petrol and diesel engines where you have to wait for that wave of torque to kick in around 1100, 1200 or 1500 RPM. On an electric motor, the torque is available instantly, and what that means is that if you enjoy darting from a signal to the next one, then you will really be pushed to the back of your seats like this. Of course, that's something we will not recommend, but yes, there is some fun to be had even on such a large luxury car. Well, owners who are going to buy this car will buy it for its sheer comfort, and Honda has tuned the suspension in accordance to those luxury seekers. So the suspension is pretty soft. It is a very cushiony suspension, and it does soak in the bumps very well. Now there is a little bit of body roll, but that's quite okay because nobody is going to buy this car and take it out on the racetrack. So in that sense, it is a good job from Honda. The other good point about the suspension is that it runs on very chunky tires, and what that means is that grip levels are phenomenal. The braking really is phenomenal. And of course, when you do step out on the highway and you get that rumble strip in the middle of the highway, you don't really have to slow this car down, unlike a lot of other luxury cars, because the suspension does simply glide over all those rumble strips. Another cool feature on this car is the blind spot management, and what that feature essentially does is that there's a camera on the passenger side and it reflects that image on the screen over here in the middle of the dashboard. Well, another good point about the Accord is the fact that the steering wheel is super light, which means that even for a car which is as huge as this, parking should not be too cumbersome, and your chauffeur shouldn't really have too many complaints about parking this car into a tight space because the steering wheel on this car is overtly light. Well, so in summary, the Accord Hybrid really comes across as the quintessential luxury car. It offers you a sofa-like backseat, a very, very refined powertrain, and good fuel efficiency as well. So even though its pricing might be on the higher side and might be very close to the Germans, do remember this car comes loaded with a lot of technology, and if you're in the market for your next luxury car, then you should definitely consider the new Accord Hybrid.